Hey, what's going on? How's it going? Man, the weekend is almost here. How's it going? Let me adjust some stuff. I don't know why I can never get this right. Something just sounds a little off almost every time I do it. Sounds a little bit better. Let me know if the music's too loud, or if it's okay. That one's always hard to judge for me, especially with my earbuds. But man, how is everybody doing? Man, lots of people piling in early. I love it. I love it. Shuckle Samurai, good evening, everyone. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Hakuyer, happy Thursday. Yeah, happy Thursday to you too. I'm totally stoked. It's the weekend. I got a ton to do though. I got a lot to wrap up for Saturday. But yeah, I'm so thrilled that it is close to the weekend. Reese Tech, how's it going? Looks like a newer name. How are you? I think that's Reese Tech. How's it going? Let's see here. JF Mantar. Oh yeah, you said just call you John, right? I think you said just call you John. How's it going? Takano, heyo, Fizzler. Hi, how's it going? Kuroi Kage-san, how's it going? Hi all, finally Friday. LOL, at least for me. Yeah, it'll be Friday here in a couple of hours. Actually about 5 hours. But yeah. How's it going, Kuroi Kage? Haven't seen you in a while. I think it's John. I'm gonna call you John. JF Mand. I can never pronounce it, but I think you said last time John. So if it's not John, just be like, yo, it's not John. But John, howdy. I got to replace all the hardware firewalls and reset my APs. Man, this is kind of what we were talking about a little bit on last stream, how hard it is and sucky to like try to change your password or anything like that, or your wireless access point passwords. Man, why do you get to reset everything? New stuff, new passwords, something got compromised, or just starting all over. Shuckle Samurai, haha, the weekend starts now, so I'm gonna keep going on my home lab. Nice. I got TrueNAS up and going. Docker, Rancher, and Kubernetes running. Wow, yeah, you got a good stack going on there. So Docker, Rancher, Kubernetes, and TrueNAS all going. Man, that sounds like my kind of stack. Hey, Exor, gifted a sub. Thank you to John. Exor, thank you so much, man. Dude, man, appreciate it. Man, it says you've gifted 11 subs in this channel. That is crazy, man. You are crazy, Exor. Thank you so much. Yeah, dude. John, enjoy the gifted sub from Exor. Man, dude, you are going crazy. I think that's the total count. But man, nonetheless, dude, thank you so much. Crazy. Let's see here. Shuckle Samurai. I just read that. Herbals. Herbals. Hi, Tim. You're awesome. Thank you. I think you're awesome. I'd like to pronounce your name properly too. So if it's not herbals or herbs, I'll go with herbs. If it's not that, let me know. But thank you. Appreciate it. Toastface Grilla. How's it going, man? How you doing? Ilude, howdy y'all. How's it going? Takano. Pro tip, ensure you save your tasker automations. For the past 2 hours, I've been pulling my hair out over my automation not working. It wasn't that I hadn't saved the automation and was running the older one. Oh, geez. Oh, that stinks. Sounds like me with some of my code sometimes before I compile it and I'm debugging like old code, which happens to me sometimes with TypeScript if I don't recompile. Man, that stinks, man. Exor, heyo, how's it going? This is John. John is good, man. All right. Reese, your audio robot-y. Your audio is robot-y. I'm Reese, by the way. My audio sounds robot-y. Hopefully it sounds okay. Does it sound better? I'm kind of yelling. I usually talk super loud in here. Let me know. Does it sound distorted? Sound weird? Let me know. Let's see here. Reese. Okay, I'm just gonna say Reese. I'll leave the tech off. Fizzler. It's 1 a.m. So it will be work time soon. Oh man, if it's 1 a.m. and you gotta work soon, oh man, you gotta get some rest, man. Home Lab New. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. John, got a nick dying. It's resetting every 4 hours. Dang, that stinks, man. Every 4 hours, like on the dot? And is that like on your firewall? Or what's the nick on? I assume it's on your firewall or your switch you were talking about earlier. Burning trees. Refresh the browser page. Oh yeah, that's a good Good call, by the way, too. Hopefully it sounds okay. I usually review my streams, too, for a couple of reasons. One, I export into YouTube a couple days later, so I always kind of, spot check stuff to make sure it sounds okay. I might have some better audio stuff coming here soon. I got a buddy who works for a company that wants to help out, but for nothing in exchange. He's just like, hey, we're looking to break into some of the stuff that you're doing, this whole area of live streaming / gamers. And anyways, long story short, I might have something to share. Nothing like super tech, but I'm going to get some help with my audio, I think. And I think it's with sound. So I can't wait, because that's like the one thing, like I figured out, figured out all this overlay stuff, some sound stuff. I think my video looks okay. Lighting looks okay. Now it's making this room less echoey. If echoey is an adjective. But anyways, let me know if not refreshing the stream helps the audio. Let's see here. Exor, cheers. He been helping me out, so yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much, man. And I asked for nothing in return. Dude, greatly appreciate it, man, for sure. Homeland Noob, my poor Raspberry Pi VPN endpoint has died, so hopefully I'll be able to have my dad become remote hands for a bit. Yeah. Oh, that stinks. So what about the Pi died? Was it the micro SD card? Because I always feel like that's the first thing that's going to go. The micro SD card that's been on my little thing back there, on my Raspberry Pi LED screen, I promise. Every day I'm so surprised it's still alive, because I've been running that thing for like 3 years solid. Doesn't write a ton. It writes a little bit of logs, but hey, Serpent Drive, thanks for a follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. That's definitely looks like a new name to me. But yeah, HomeLab New, let me know what part of the Pi died. I'm always curious about that. Hakuyer, definitely going to check out Guacamole this weekend. Have heard of it for a while now, but wanted to try it because your video. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been out for a long time. And it's always kind of been, semi-painful to set up. They have their own official Docker containers, and it's released by Apache too. So anyone that's like kind of worried about it, one, it's open source. Two, it's by Apache, and so they make semi-decent stuff. They make a lot of good stuff. And then they have Docker containers, and then Chicano had talked about this one specifically a while ago, and I was like, that does make things a lot easier. So. But it was definitely on my backlog because linuxserver.io had a version of it. I just hadn't had a chance to evaluate it. And then when I finally did, I was like, oh yeah, this is not fun, and it won't be as seamless as running the one by Osnu. Actually, I realized I was giving credit to Onzu, and then I think I have dyslexia a little bit sometimes in the first couple letters. But it's Osnu. So Osnu, if you're watching, I apologize that I said Onzu so many times. Hakuyer, let me know how it goes. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid, I think. Toastface Grilla. Tim, how have you been? Oh, let me start all over. Too much caffeine. Oh yeah, there we go. Get them lights going. Tim, how have you been? I don't know why I can't read today in my eyes. Tim, how you been going with the broadlinks? Really good. Actually, super duper good. Not so good that something didn't just happen as it should have, because I wrote a ton of code, but I deployed it like totally last minute. I think that those should have turned green. I'll send the green command and let's see if it'll go. Yeah, all right, it is working. So awesome, actually. It's been going really good. So I have one back there now, and I'm triggering it. There are some quirks I need to work out. There they go. They're both blue. So they're back there. They're working. They're good. I wrote a ton of code. I have some stuff coming that I'm going to release soon that anyone who has one of these can just use. And I even worked with, I think, one of the guys from Home Assistant, who lent me a hand on some of this. I think he is. He's one of the contributors to Home Assistant. So anyways, I really like the devices. I don't like Broadlink service. I don't like that they make them cloud connected only after you add them to your app. Their app is pretty nice, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't feel great once you add a device to their system, because then it's totally cloud connected only. And that won't work for me because I can't go through their API to do things I want to do like I just did myself by clicking a button. Anyways, awesome devices. I wrote a ton of code. I should have something very, very soon that anyone can use if they want to. And it's, it's a straight up awesome, I think, semi-decent, awesome Docker container that you can add to whatever, Portainer, Docker, Kubernetes, self-host this Broadlink control. I know that Home Assistant supports this already, but for me, I needed an API. So I wrote an API for it, and then I was like, well, if I'm gonna write an API, I might as well just write a UI for it too. So it's like the definition of scope creep. I wrote way too much for it, and then put it all in the Docker container because I'm like, I want people to pull it down easily and spin it up if they have one of these devices. Anyways, Toast-Based Grill, thanks for asking. I'm loving it so far. But I made it where I made Broadlink bend to my requirements, which usually isn't possible. But all the things that Home Assistant figured out helped tremendously. So I pull in one of their libraries. I use part of their API to then build my API and build my UI. So anyways, yeah, super awesome. Thanks for asking. Super pumped about them. I'll have something to, that I can give to people here a couple days. But yeah. Restack, fix, release, refresh the page. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. My problem. Yeah, no worries at all. Thanks for the feedback. Sometimes some people are scared to say if something sounds different, looks different, sounds odd, looks odd. So I appreciate you saying it too. Let's see here. Sounds good here. Shuckle Samurai, thanks for the feedback. Let's see here. Thanks to John, I just added 2 nodes to my Rancher cluster in persistent volume. Awesome. That's really awesome. John, yeah, man. XOR, that is awesome. John, yeah, I'm the home firewall. It is making working from home a little bit hard. Okay, your home firewall, the NIC that's resetting every 4 hours. That sucks, man. Especially if it's your home firewall. It's like every 4 hours you're probably going crazy. Like, is it up? Is it down? What's going on? Reefs, is it easy to add disks to Proxmox? Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. I think so. If you mean, is it easy to add additional disks to storage? Not really. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's ZFS, right? So it's not like JBOD, like you can just add some additional disks. You have to you have to basically create, I think, a new pool in order to do that. But I don't know if that's what you're asking, so I don't want to like go down the deep end. But let me know if that's what you're asking about. Herbals. Oh, now it looks like herbals. Now that I say it, herb is fine. Your videos are finally. I don't know why I can't read today. I apologize. Maybe I've been reading too much. Anyways, herb is fine. Your videos are finally what have been getting me into building my home lab. Nice. Currently using my mom's old Inspiron. LOL. Hey, not a problem at all. I mean, my story is that my first, server, home lab, whatever you want to call it. This was before people have been calling them home labs. My first one was a PC that we're going to throw in the trash, and I think it was like a 400 or 500 megahertz PC. And it was old then. It wasn't just like, I'm not that old, but it was old then. So no shame in that game, man. It's, as long as it's something that runs, that's kind of it is for me. And then you just, I scale out or scale up or scale out, one or the other. XR, Reese, yeah, man, hit us up on Discord. Yeah, for sure. We do have a couple of awesome channels, hypervisors, in our Discord channel. That's where a lot of the talk on Proxmox and ESXi. It seems like those two hypervisors dominate the conversation. Usually Proxmox, but every now and then we'll get some Hyper-V people in there. We welcome them too. We don't say bad things about Hyper-V in there, nor XCP-NG. It's just hypervisors, But yeah, you should totally check it out if you haven't. Takano, it was basically me trying to set up automation where it would use a plugin called Auto Input, which you can automate typing, gestures, clicks, etc. Oh, okay. Awesome. I've done something similar too when I used to bot on some games, and it wasn't anything like professional games or anything. It was just me trying to program a couple of basically bots for a game just for fun. And I forget, it was auto click. I don't remember, but it's super fun stuff. I got away with it for a while too. It was super fun. Fizzler Zero, first of all, thanks for your videos. Hey, no problem at all. Thanks for being here. Since it's helping me start my second home lab with Proxmox. All right, so your first one must not be Proxmox, and then so maybe now you're starting one with Proxmox. That is awesome. Man, you guys have so many awesome things going on. I get so many ideas, and I get super jealous. Especially, it's like the closer it comes to the weekend, the more excited people are for what they're going to do over the weekend too, or what they have planned. And I totally understand. I mean, unless it's, you know, unless it's like John where he has to replace his whole entire firewall, like that doesn't sound that fun. Especially if it's replacing something existing that should be working anyway, not too fun. But man, I share your enthusiasm and looking forward to whatever the project is for the weekend, because I definitely do too. Have my whole life. I've scheduled projects almost every weekend for a long time, tech projects, and I just love it. I've even bought parts early in the week to make sure I have everything by Friday. But yeah, good to hear it. Fizzler Zero, thank you so much. Reese, okay, cool. I think I'm gonna dissolve my FreeNAS because of the storage tax. I only use Nextcloud. Okay, I can't give it all to Proxmox. All right, yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Yeah, but man, Nextcloud is pretty awesome. It's, I mean, if you're going to use it, I think it's pretty sweet. I used it for a while. I used it in a different way too. I basically used it like Dropbox. That's how I used it, because I had people I needed to share things with, and I didn't want to ask them to download an FTP client, nor did they even know what that was. So I still use Nextcloud like Dropbox. I didn't use many of the other features. They're all there. They're awesome. Even has its own OAuth built in. I used it for Dropbox, and it works. It works fantastic for Dropbox too. Even if that's the only thing you use it for as a Dropbox replacement, it's great because you just send someone a deep link and they just download it over HTTP. They don't need to know anything that they don't already know on the internet. Click a link, download a file. Let's see here. Takano, the issue I was having is that it wouldn't click onto a password field and the input password, but it was just because I hadn't saved it. So I kept changing stuff and trying to get it to work, but nope, just hadn't saved it and it worked the whole time. Yeah, that stinks. I was telling you, that's just like when I'm working in, say, like TypeScript, and I forget to compile, air quotes on there, forget to transpile my code, and I'm debugging and stepping through old code, and I'm like, what the heck? I thought I fixed this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't transpile my code. Run it again. I'm like, yeah, it's totally fixed. Just wasted 20 minutes on this. And it's basically the same idea. It's like you're debugging an old version of something. It stinks. HomeLab New, I foolishly bought a disk encryption chip, which was supposed to handle the disk encryption keys and automatically decrypt the disk on boot. I suspect the chip is misbehaving. Oh man, that sounds crazy. I haven't done anything like that. So that sounds, pretty awesome. And this is for your Raspberry Pi too then. Okay. Yeah, that sounds crazy. I think I remember you mentioning this before though, about encrypting and decrypting your Raspberry Pi. But yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Hopefully it's not broken though. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you might lose your data on the disk and you're gonna have to format and re-encrypt it, but as long as it's not, I don't know, hardware, you can maybe not recover the data, but at least recover the system. Yeah, it sounds rough, man. Bird 2473. Hey, that looks like a newer name. How's it going? Thanks for all the great content. My nephew is coming to stay with us for the week, and he's going to help assemble my first home lab server. Awesome. That is so awesome. How old's your nephew? Because that sounds like you sound like an awesome uncle then. I mean, I have great uncles, but awesome and great uncles. I have great uncles too, but never was one like, hey, let's build a server, because I would have been like, let's do this. That sounds really awesome. Really awesome. Toastface Gorilla, you can see how I got carried away and bought 4 of them. They're so helpful and neat. They are. These broadlinks are really fantastic. And I'm only using, I've showed this like 10 times, but my Hey, yeah, thanks for changing the lights. Thanks for redeeming points. My primary use case was for this remote control. And people probably have a lot better things they control with it and automate with it. Me, it's just changing lights. And I can't tell if the Broadlink piece is working, but I'm going to send the command anyways from here. So it's the code I wrote. Anyways, I'm kind of talking to myself because I'm debugging this thing in the background just to see if it'd work. And I thought it would totally work, but must not be fully working. Anyways, they are awesome. It's funny how many things use infrared, and I never even thought twice about it until just a little while ago after having one of these. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I mean, obviously TV, but like I have this air purifier, I have this humidifier, so many random things. And not my ceiling fans. I realized that a lot of them are RF, and the Broadlink, I think 4 Pro can do RF, which sounds awesome. But I hooked up a smart switch to my ceiling fan so I can turn them on and off, but I can't adjust the speed. That's where something like the Broadlink Pro with RF, I could then program the speed, which is so awesome. And if it's RF, I don't have to keep it in the room. That's the one, you know, obviously with infrared, you need line of sight, right? Because it's light. But with the RF ones, I could have them controlling 2 of my fans because they're upstairs. Hopefully the RF would be strong enough to go through the wall. I don't know. Man, Athron, how's it going, man? Yeah, good to see you. I was just thinking about you earlier today. Northern Lights. I think this is copyrighted by a certain company. Yeah. Oh, how's it going, man? Yeah, it's my channel points, man. I had to name them. You know, I'm all about space weather, man. How you doing? I was thinking about you today, man. I promise I was thinking about you. I thought about you twice today. But anyways, it's starting to sound kind of weird. But how's it going, man? It's not a new job anymore, but how's the job going? Hopefully well. Herbals, I just joined the Discord, but I can only see start here. Oh yeah, Herbals, you need to just click the, I think it's a rocket ship or something. There's 2 things you need to click. Well, one you need to, one you can if you want. And it's just saying you agree to the rules. That's it. And then there's one underneath it to say, hey, you want to know when I go live on the stream. You probably want to click that too. John, I will be back later. Got to put my kid to bed. All right, good night, kiddo. Yeah, Toastface Girl, you're already on it. Bike shedding. Atherin, what's going on? What do you mean bike shedding? Whoa, there's a Manuel Jr. Manuel, but it's not spelled the way I usually see it. Anyways, hi Tim, do you think it's really safe to expose Guacamole to the internet, even over SSL? Yeah, good question. So, good question. Nothing's safe, 100% safe exposing it to the internet, right? Is it risky? It's gonna be like, let me break it down a little bit, right? So Guacamole, by nature, by exposing that to the internet, does expose more risk than say like your website that you log into and you post blogs to, right? Just because the content that it protects behind there. In the WordPress case, it's your blog and it's some documents, whatever. In Guacamole, it's remote access to all of your machines. But that's not to say you can't and shouldn't do it. It's really going to be up to you. Personally, I would advise just doing it over VPN, and that just gives you a peace of mind that that's not exposed over the internet. But there are safe ways to expose it. I mean, obviously, 100% use SSL. Next, use an auth provider. So use auth other than local authentication. And then on top of that, set up 2-factor auth. So if you do it over SSL, you use some kind of other authentication provider besides local auth. I mean, it could be some other auth. It could be local auth as long as you have a strong and secure password. And then you use 2-factor auth. I mean, you're as protected as a lot of other sites or services. Obviously, then you're going to want to check the logs to see if someone's trying to log in or authentication failures. Maybe set up something like fail to ban to watch those logs. So that you're actively or reactively blocking IPs of people who are trying to just brute force into there. I mean, so that's the other piece of security too, is the monitoring, right? But if you feel good with all of that, I mean, it's, I mean, if it fell into the wrong hands, you know, then someone could potentially remote into all your machines. I don't know how to say it because that's what it does. You know, if you're okay with that and it's secure and you did all the things that I said, I mean, I would treat it like anything else. I mean, if it provides the service you need and you can't VPN into it or haven't set up VPN, but you've done those other things, it's going to risk. You're going to have to take. And I don't mean to sound like, oh, it's super scary. There's just, you know, I guess, bigger consequences if that device or machine gets compromised. I'll put it that way. versus your WordPress blog or something like that, where, hey, they can destroy content or put a bunch of spam. On the other hand, with Guacamole, they're remoting into your stuff. And then on top of that, you probably saved a root or admin account for all of those services or remote servers. So then they're in as admin or root. But anyways, use VPN. But if you know what you're doing, you feel comfortable, and you have all those other things, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, would you poke a hole open in SSH for your firewall or for your whatever, RDP to your Windows machine, your only Windows machine, or any other, you know, hole you poke open in your firewall? Would you? And what's the trade-off? You know, I prefer VPN for those kinds of things, just because. But anyways, yeah, great question. Hopefully that helps. Herbals. Thanks. That's kind of sick. I need to figure out how to do that. Toast Face Girl, what are we talking about? Oh, agree to the terms. Yeah, it's just thumbs up, man. It's just, I think it's a thumbs up or a rocket ship. I can't remember. CDAWs. So I'm getting caught up. Oh man, I'm so far behind the comments. I didn't realize. Hey, that's okay. I will get caught up. I'll go fast. CDAWs, love your videos. Thank you. You've got me really excited about starting a hypervisor. Awesome. Welcome to hypervisoring. I plan on running Proxmox with Linux, Plex, Pi-hole with a Guacamole to start out. I have an old AMD 4-core and wanted to know if this will run well or good enough to start out. Also, with Docker or Kubernetes for this setup. I have watched your videos, but I really don't understand either. And I probably slaughtered that. So if that sentence didn't make sense, it wasn't you, it's me. For some reason, my eyes are playing games on me. AMD 4-core, I think it's okay. If you're just getting started, absolutely. I think it's totally fine. I would hate for you to go out and buy a big beefy machine and then realize at the end of the day, you're going to run maybe 1-2 virtual machines and 4 containers, right? Most processors made in the last 10 years can handle a workload like that. If you're going all virtual machines, that's a different story. You might need a little bit more. Also, I would say like, hey, it would be nice if you had, you know, I don't know, 32 gigs of RAM minimum or something like that, depending on how many virtual machines you're going to have. And then hopefully some of it's either on solid state or some kind of array that gives a little bit more performance than one disk alone would. But that's kind of advanced. And so I think an older machine is great to get started, to get learning and see if your workload performs okay in that before you go buy anything, especially since you already have it. I would say go for it in what you have, and then after that, decide if you need to scale up and beef up that machine or replace that machine, and go from there. Docker, Kubernetes, yeah, those are big topics. But really, what it boils down to, and I think I have another video on it. You know, you're either going to containerize a whole entire operating system with something like Proxmox or a hypervisor, or you're going to quote unquote containerize a process or a set of processes. We'll say one process for now in Docker. And that's the same as in a virtual machine. You're taking this big old honking machine with virtual hardware and placing it inside of another machine. And in Docker, you're actually plucking out one process container, all of its dependencies, and putting that inside of an existing operating system. And so you can do that 4, 5, 6, 7, 32, 64, 100 times, and not have to create virtual machines every time you do it. Yeah, that's kind of high level how I explain it really quick in 10 seconds. But hopefully those help. Kubernetes is definitely a little bit more advanced, and that's just to help you orchestrate taking those containers, those Docker containers, on, off, health checks. Also helps with routing, load balancing, that kind of stuff. So hopefully that helps. Reese, I'm not running ZFS. All right. So then adding another disk, I think you were talking about to Proxmox should be pretty straightforward then. Fizzler, regarding Proxmox storage, I'm starting to mess with it. Could you explain to me what's the difference between directory versus LVM thin? Oh man, there's probably some people in here who can explain this a little bit better than I can. Oh man, who's this? Sorry, I didn't have my screen up. Let me pull this up real quick. Oh, where are my events? I promise I had them up. Oh, there they are. So many lists. I have list on list. Hey, CDOS, thanks for the sub. Thanks for the Prime. Dude, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Man, welcome. Well, you've already been here, but thank you so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it. Oh, geez, that's a big topic. Directory versus LVM thin. I mean, your LVMs are going to be what, your logical disks or your volumes. LVM thin is going to be a thin provisioning of that volume. I'm terrible at this, at like explaining what these are. I can't tell you what directory is without looking at this. A lot of this is just, I'm going to have to Google it, to be honest. But the difference between thin and thick, at least provisioning for your drives, is going to be whether or not it's going to take up the space right away or it's going to grow as it goes. It basically tells the guest machine that it has a certain size of hard drive. And then I think whether it's thick or thin is going to be, well, thin versus a normal, I call them thick, is whether it allocates it up front or not. So that you can kind of over provision your storage if you kind of wanted to. You could basically say, you have, you're not taking up the space until it actually uses it. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I've always thought about it. Shuckle Samurai, is PFSense a rite of passage? Is there anything else to look at before starting on PFSense? Oh, that's a good one. That made me chuckle a little bit, only because, man, I think we've all been there at some point in time, so I do feel like it is a rite of passage. Let me actually turn down my volume just a little bit. I see I'm redlining because my mic's a little bit closer. Anyways, I've done tons of things. And it's funny, I just saw Tom just basically did a review for Untangle in 2020. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome because I used to run Untangle. Anyways, there are other things out there. And so some of the things I've tried, I mean, I've tried so many in my life, things that aren't, maybe they're around anymore. I used to do IPCOP, I used to do Smooth Wall, then I did Untangle, then I did PFSense, then I did OpenSense, then back to Untangle. I've even done like some Microsoft, just vanilla routing and remote access craziness, their old firewall solution. And then I use XG Firewall now, and which I think is a pretty good solution. Not open source, it's closed, it's commercial, but there's a free for home use version. There are a lot of options out there. I think PFSense, I've done MonoWall too. That's another one. I've even just done DDWRT. So I've done tons of them, tons of network firewalls, kind of open source appliance-y kind of ones. But I think PFSense is like a solid choice. Like that's one that people go with and they stick with forever, right? For a while I was always just chasing like the shiny, I was basically chasing the dragon with network firewalls. I just thought there was a better one out there every time, and every time I switched. And because I virtualized mine, it made it really easy to switch, and which is another reason why I virtualized mine, because I can evaluate another one before I even do it and then just swap it out after I get all my rules built and everything. But I think PFSense is a good place to start. It'll give you a good baseline. The only thing is that if you start with PFSense and go somewhere else, you might end up back at PFSense, and so like all of your research may be for naught. So it's a good place to start, and it's not, I don't know if it's just a rite of passage, but it helps you understand, maybe what some of your needs are from the next one, because it has a lot. Hopefully that helps. Shucks Samurai. I'm Lymanson. Has anyone noticed used server gear going up in price on eBay? Man, I've been saying this for months. Looking to buy a Dell R730, and they were selling $550 to $700 a month. Now they're $1,000. Not sure what's going on. I've been saying this for a while, and I think that people are starting to I think it's a couple of things, and this is just me just guessing. One, more people are starting to self-host stuff and build stuff at home, just period. Just flat out, like, I don't want whatever their service, I want to do it here. Two, I think a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands right now. So all of those, projects that they couldn't do or didn't have a lot of time for, they're doing now, right? Because they're working from home, but as soon as they're done working, they switch over to their other projects, like me. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. And then I also think on top of that, so not only is the demand a little bit greater, I just also think that the people selling stuff are starting to realize, like, we've been giving this away for pennies. And so I think they're starting to realize how much it's worth, to be honest. And I don't know if that's because of like scarcity, even though it's used stuff, or if people just wised up and said if they could make 100, 200 more bucks, why not? I mean, would you? I would. But those are only my guesses. I've kind of been talking about it a little bit over the last couple of months. I've just noticed things in general. Even over the last couple of years, they've just been going up. Like I said, people used to give this stuff away. People used to say, come to my house and please take this wretched, server rack. I do not want it anymore. Free, just come and pick it up. Not like that anymore. Not at all. Shucka Samurai, autoclick was great for farm accounts and RTS style games. Yeah, man. I think it was autoclicked. I'll be honest, I did it a long time ago, a little bit on WoW, I think. And it was actually pretty awesome. Oh, the Alt F4 stream? Hey, thanks for the host. Jeez, 65. Welcome, people. How's it going? 65, a lot of people. How's everybody doing? How was the Alt F4 stream? Hopefully it was fantastic. I haven't checked out the Alt F4 stream. I will definitely do it now, but that is a huge raid, huge host. That is awesome. Welcome, everyone. Man, that is awesome. You guys are lighting my stuff up, man. My little Raspberry Pi back there is probably going to catch fire now with all this activity. Dang, thanks for the follows, people. Really appreciate it. Welcome to my channel. We talk about tech stuff. That's what we talk about pretty much the whole entire time. And yeah, hope you guys had a good stream and welcome. But Shuckle Samurai, auto click, yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, I did it before with WoW, and it was no more than just seeing if I could do it. And so I totally programmed a bot just to go and do Alteric Valley all day long, and tried to see how long, and I tried to see how much I could make it look like a real person, like act like a real person. I had timers down for like, okay, when does okay, I just zoned into Alteric Valley. Okay, now I need to wait a little bit. I'm gonna run to the gate or the opening cave in Alteric Valley. And I know everyone runs and jumps against the door that won't open on Alteric Valley. So I like totally scripted all that stuff. And it was really just for fun. Like I wasn't, I was just some dude who like to automate things. And so, I mean, yeah, I got some points out of it, but whatever. But I wasn't playing for like, I totally wasn't playing for like any, professionally. It was just for fun. And I was like, hey, I want to rack up some points. I found this thing. Okay, I'll totally script my whole entire bot. And it was awesome. It would, my character would play Alteric Valley all day long. I would come home and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's still running. I even scripted the logging back in. Now I'm spilling it all now. I probably shouldn't have done it. But again, like I wasn't, yeah, it was wrong. I agree. Totally wrong. But it was fun to figure out. It was totally fun. I'm like, my goal was like, how much of a human can I make this look like before I probably get banned? But I was just having fun. It was totally on an alt too. It wasn't even on my main. Never on my main. But anyways, I haven't played in a while. Love that game. Brought back some good memories though, just talking about autoclick. Takano, does Hue Lighting code have a timeout so when you stop the stream, people just can't come in here and redeem light colors? Great question. I thought I wired that up properly. So the way I do it, basically, if you don't know, my lights are all controlled by Philips Hue. I have channel points in my channel. People can change the colors, and they'll change. And I thought I was going to be smarter than everyone else, and I was like, okay, I'm going to actually write some code now that makes sure that it checks to see if I'm live. There we go. That checks to see if I'm live before, yeah, the green. I do need to fix one other thing. Oh, there it goes. Kind of, sort of. But I do need to fix one other thing there. But I did end up writing some code that would check to see if I'm live before running the rest of the code, basically. And so that's not working right now. And I think we tested it out last time. It's not fully working, but I will fix it. But yeah, that's all I do. I'll do one quick check. Like if someone redeems points, my first thing should be, is Techno Tim live right now? If he is, execute it's just an if else statement. And that's how I manage that. But it's not actually wired up right now. So if you spend points, one day I'm in here, not streaming, working on a work meeting on a Zoom call, you'll probably change all of my lights in here and people in the work meeting will be like, whoa, who is this guy? Anyways, Reese, I used it as my media library mounted via web dev. Okay, your hard drive? Nice. Techno, what I'm automating is streaks on Snapchat for a friend. They're not able to access their device for 2 weeks, so they left me in charge to do them. I know I can just do them and it takes like 30 seconds, but of course I have to automate it. Yeah, man, for sure. Bird, could be related to the pandemic. A lot of those hobby related things, yeah, jump to price, home equipment. Yeah, totally agree. I'm right there with you. It's also a fun project, Takano. Nice. Home lab new, not exactly the kind of problem I would like to have 5,400. Wait, what's going on? Not exactly the kind of problem one would like to have 5,400 miles from home. Yeah. What's the problem again? Oh, sorry, I got lost in conversations. I've been doing so good at threading. I got lost on the thread on that one. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the threads from Twitch, killing me. My guy Tim, Young Brax, what's up? How's it going? Takano, also starting to work on a custom-built Christmas light show controller. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Going to go with 16 channels total. I got all the outlets yesterday, but the only sucky thing is the software to make them show only works on Windows, which still doesn't work on my 10 gig NIC. Might just install Ubuntu and set up a Windows VM. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the 10 gig NIC. Northern Lights? No, Solar Flare. That was it. It was something related to space weather in general. But man, that stinks, man. See here. Hey, Minx Key. Sorry, that's MXNK. Hey, how's it going? That looks like a newer name. Takano, since I'm only using it to make a sequence, the software is running on Raspberry Pi. Nice. I just import the sequence and it should just work. Now time to get it an FM transmitter. Yeah, man, that sounds like fun stuff for sure. And if you're, FM transmitter, I mean, you can get, if you want to get a smart FM transmitter, that's what I was talking about earlier with the Broadlink stuff. It looks pretty awesome. Minxie, I'm gonna say Minxie. Minxie. Moxie? I'm gonna say Minxie. I came here to find out more about coding because when I searched up coding on Twitch, you popped up. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. What would you like to know? I'll try to answer whatever I can. Yeah, Kuroi Kage-san, you're already on it. Thank you, sir. What is local auth? Look, this was probably in regards to Guacamole or something. I mean, local auth would be the local authentication on the system, where the authentication is stored in whatever the system is that's providing auth. That's what I was referring to, if that's what you're asking. Reese, I just set up a Node MCU, not exactly, to open my electronic gate by hooking up a relay into the button. Then I installed another Node MCU in the car, so when it connects to Wi-Fi, it automatically opens the gate and closes the gate when it disconnects. That's awesome. So as soon as your machine connects to Wi-Fi, it sends a signal to then open the gate. That sounds awesome. I spliced in something from my garage door, but it's not as awesome as that. I think the thing that I spliced in was meant for that. That sounds pretty awesome. I don't know what a Node MCU is, but that sounds sweet. Yeah, I'm Lymanson. Thank you so much picking up with the assist on the answers. I love it. Reese via Home Assistant. Okay, gotcha. Home Assistant. Yeah. I need to do more Home Assistant stuff. I got it set up and I have a few things running. I even have some of my themes in my room, and it's running seemingly good. I just need to dive in a little bit more. And I was saying earlier that I work with one of the guys from Home Assistant. He gave me a hand on something I'm working on, so it was super awesome. Great group of folks there for sure. let's see here. Scrolling through. I'm catching up. Toastface Gorilla should get those LEDs reacting to new subs. I know, dude. I had it working. It should work. It actually should work. Like, tonight was the night I was going to unveil it, because I mean, this should be happening when someone subs. It should be happening ×2. Like, both of these lights, are they both going? I can't tell if they're both going. I think, yeah, see, some work to be done. Yeah. So like, this should be happening when someone subs, but I don't know why. And I seriously wrote this code in 15 minutes. And I wrote this code 45 minutes before I went live. And then 15 minutes was, I wrote it in 15 minutes, and then I ate dinner in 10 minutes, and then I ran up here. I was totally just like, kind of rushed for the stream today. Now I'm trying to set these back. Anyways, I have some things to work out there. That's for sure. But yeah, for sure. And what I do, that's a lot of green. I also want to figure out how to make the hue ones flash. I mean, I know how to make them change colors, as you can see, but I want them to get them to flash like a strobe. I think it would be awesome too. Yeah, Fizzler, thanks for the assist on that about the LVM thin and thick. Yeah. It doesn't allow me to store backups or ISOs. Yeah. If it does, I'm not sure how to do it, since directory allows for all of that and also store VMs container disk. Isn't it just better all ignoring the performance drop? Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that, and I am a little bit behind. But I typically stick in Proxmox all of my ISOs on one drive, which is just some small, well, not necessarily, relatively small compared to the rest, and maybe even slow compared to the rest, because all it's doing is storing ISOs. I probably have 10 ISOs on there, and other than that, like, if I ever run out of space on that drive that my ISOs are on for Proxmox, I'll just delete an ISO. Like, I don't need Ubuntu 2004 and every previous version of Ubuntu ever, because typically when I install my Ubuntu server, I'm just going to grab the latest Ubuntu. And so I honestly probably have 8 or 10 ISOs on that folder or that drive. And I honestly probably only use 2. The other ones are there because I haven't deleted them. So I used to stack up all my ISOs there, but it's just, I rarely use them. I mean, I probably spin up, and now that I'm using, Docker and Kubernetes, like it's kind of rare for me to get even spin up a virtual machine now too. Obviously for testing and stuff like that I do, but pretty rare. And it's almost like every time I do, it's always going to be Ubuntu, and that guy's just sitting on there anyway. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, there are so many comments. I'm getting caught up though, but so many little ones from follows and all of the people that came from the stream. Man, it's so awesome. Munzie, hi. I am also here to raid you, Techno Tim. Thank you so much. I'm getting caught up on comments. Yeah, look at all these great emotes, man. I wish I had a better system for text. Maybe I could see it sooner. And I don't know. I got to figure out how to prioritize this stuff at some point. Rockstar, F4 is awesome, but tell us what you're up to. I think I did. I apologize. I'm so behind on the raid hype. I should have joined in the raid hype. See, that's something I got to prioritize when it happens. Is to do that, because so if you're new to the channel, I usually, I try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. And so when someone then comes in and raids, it's like, oh, how do I deal with that? As I'm answering questions, maybe I could jump into the raid of all the comments, or yeah, but then I don't want to lose my place, because some people only say one thing in the stream, and then I don't want them to think I'm not, I'm skipping over the comments. So anyways, more to come on that for sure. Let's see here. Techno Tim, got any auto updates for Kubernetes pods? Yeah, Munzie, I think someone was talking about Watchtower, which could keep your pods or your containers up to date. That sounds really awesome. I haven't done it. There are some use cases for keeping your containers up to date always. For a lot of stuff, I totally YOLO on all mine. They're all pinned to latest. Some of it's code I wrote, which I only tag latest. And some of it are third-party Docker containers, which, I kind of trust what they release. But I never auto-update them. There's one container that I should, but I haven't automated yet, and I probably will with Watchtower. I think it's Watchtower. is my Minecraft server. Only because like once people update their client, they can't connect to old servers, at least not that I've seen. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, especially with Minecraft, which I should script it. I should just script it myself and just write a Kubernetes service deploy that goes every night at midnight. But then, you know, it's not really, yeah. Watchtower is actually, I think, actively watching for something to be published versus my script to kind of do it as an afterthought. But yeah, I think Watchtower. I think that's what people use. But I haven't done it. Haven't done it myself. Mainly because the code that I write, I also write my own CI and CD pipeline. And so when my code is done and containerized, the next thing I do is say, hey, go redeploy to Kubernetes and grab my latest code. But for third-party stuff, I basically bookmark every single Docker container I use. It's pretty boring, but it's fun. And then I say, right click, open all with Chrome. And it's like, are you sure you want to open 34 tabs? And I say, yeah, do it. Or I just go through Kubernetes or Rancher and just say redeploy on every single one. But yeah. All that for stream, I play WoW. Awesome. I need to get back into WoW. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Only because like, man, it takes a ton of time. I realized too, ever since I started creating videos and streaming more, I play less games. And that was true even before what I do now, because it got to a point where I can only play games on stream. Now I don't even play games on stream. So I'm like asking myself, like, when do I play games? It's like never anymore. But every now and then I squeeze them in on Saturday or Sunday. Man, just still has a sub. Don't believe him. He's too afraid to let go. Rockstar, play. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, about sub, about WoW. Yeah, no, I would totally admit it. I would totally admit it for sure if I had it. Like there's no shame in my WoW game. Like I will openly say, like, I love that game. I used to love playing. I used to love playing, questing. I love questing so much. I love tanking. I love running 5-mans. It was fantastic. I would go into looking for group as a tank. I would auto enter. I would auto join because I'm a tank right away, right? I don't know if it's still like that because tanks had a priority because there wasn't enough of them. Hey, thanks for the sub. Oh man, let me pull open my other screen, man. I need more monitors. Sci-Fi Jeep Guy resub. Hey, thanks so much. 2 months already. Sci-Fi Jeep Guy, thanks so much. But yeah, love running 5-mans. I join looking for group as a tank. Auto queue in. Okay. Everybody, as soon as everybody zones in, probably even before people zoned in, I'm going off tanking the first whole entire room. I was the person I think that healers kind of hate. I mean, I knew my limits. I never, you know, I was never trying to wipe, but I always wanted to play as fast as I possibly could when I did play and when I did tank. That was my style. I was just like, I have about 5 or 6 cooldowns. You go ahead and drink your mana, go get out of combat, whatever, drink your mana, do whatever you want to do. I got 5 cooldowns. If I really need help, I will let you know. Other than that, just let me tank like everyone. Oh, healers hated me so much. But I mean, I wasn't a jerk. I just loved to 5-mans were always so easy that my challenge was, okay, well, how can we make this more challenging? And it was by just pulling more and more mobs. Anyways, as you can tell, I definitely love that game so much. And then on top of all of that, after all that was done, or in between that, or when I would get bored, then it was roll an alt. So I think I had like, I don't know, 8 or 9 alts. And it was so fun. It was so fun. I miss not only those days, because I know people get super nostalgic about WoW, but I also get, I just enjoyed the game itself, just playing the game, even Auction House and stuff. And yeah, anyways, this isn't a WoW stream, but I'm starting to already think about how much I like the game. Let's see here, stream was great. I'm building a Stream Elements Streamlabs competitor in TypeScript, and I was refactoring a service into 3 microservices, and it was fun. That is awesome. That is awesome. So you're building a competitor, so I assume it's going to be a combination of UI components or components, maybe chatbot, obviously stats. Yeah, tell me more. You hosted all of your home lab. All right, yeah, I host a ton of stuff in my home lab. Some of my stuff on Twitch too that's running right now in other streams, a 24/7 stream that's actually running in another channel is all running in my home lab too. So yeah, I totally love it. I'm so behind the comments, but getting caught up. Munzie, did I get banned? No, I didn't get banned. I probably should have. It was dumb, but I don't know. It wasn't to get gear, anything like that. It was like, the pre-programmer in me wanting to automate stuff and see how much I can make this, this character in WoW act like a real person. a real, as much as a real person in WoW was like. Let's see here, Alt F4, we get integrated ours with LifeX. Nice, you integrated yours with LifeX? Nice. I don't have a ton of LifeX bulbs. I had some, but then I ended up switching out for Hue. But yeah, awesome. Shuckle Samurai, I'm so redeeming points tomorrow during the day. Yeah, this is going back to my comment. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Friday, yeah, I won't tell you what time my meetings are. I have a daily stand-up. It would be fine. It would be fine any time of the day if it happened. If someone redeemed points and I actually didn't I didn't fix the code yet in my own chatbot, it's my own fault. So if my lights go, pink or green or something tomorrow during the day, I'll be like, yes, I should totally fix that. It's actually a bug, and I ended up commenting out the whole entire logic check for it, but that would be awesome. John, that's cool. I'm working on converting my house into a smart house. Awesome. Yeah. It's an ever-going process. I've done tons of smart light stuff. I have tons of everything, you name it. Lights, thermostats, multiple thermostats. I think I have 3 thermostats. Light switches, lights out in the garage, a lot of lights, humidifier, you name it. And then all the lights that are going on in here. A lot of light. I mean, a lot of them are switches, right? I do have some, sensors too. But yeah, once you start, it's awesome. But then once you start too, you'll start to realize like how, fragmented the whole entire ecosystem is. And that's where something like Home Assistant is really shining, because they're trying to bring all these ecosystems together. I mean, as is, they say, Google, Amazon, and Apple, but we'll see if that really happens. Yeah, God, yeah, back to Tokyo Nights. Is he reading Twitch chat? I didn't realize he's multi-streaming. No, yeah, I am. Alt F4, yeah, absolutely am. People ask this a lot too, because they join the stream, and this is one of my biggest quirks and biggest beasts with Twitch is like, dude, persist your chat. Just persist it. You show it in VODs. It's there when people are there. Like, why can't people join the stream and scroll up? Like, why does it have to be a blank conversation? It doesn't make any sense. They've already done the hard work. It's in the VOD. I mean, this is something that Mixer did from day one. Just persist the chat, please. That would help answer a lot of questions that people have when they join, because they're like, well, where the heck is this guy talking? Is he like on a different stream? Are we in the same channel? Is he on Twitch? What's he talking about? But yeah. So anyways, usually when people join, I'm getting caught up to comments that other people have said. So yeah, kind of getting there. Let's see here. Where was I? Yeah, thank you, Takano. Thank you. And then the people in here in the stream know too, for sure. Who's this? T Grout Man? I have to learn Dynamo and Lambda. Should I be scared? No. I don't know. Do you mean Lambda? Lambda as in the function service by AWS? Yeah, I need some more context there. Dynamo? I don't know Dynamo. I can't even pronounce that. Dynamo. But I assume you meant AWS. Should you be scared? I don't know. We talked about this on stream, I think on Tuesday, about how like function as a service, right? FAS is really awesome. Seems interesting. I mean, Google has one, is Cloud Functions. AWS has Azure Functions, I'm sorry, did I say Azure? Azure has Azure Functions, and GCP, Google Cloud has Cloud Functions, and then AWS has Lambda. I think it's really interesting to think about. Have I done a ton of it? No. A lot of the services I run home and at work are still running, well, they're containerized, they're running in Kubernetes, but I haven't made that leap to functions as a service besides microservices as a service, which sounds really interesting. I haven't done a ton of it. Sounds awesome. It's, it's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a scary, I mean, maybe you should be scared. I don't want to say it's scary, but it's definitely interesting. I'll say it. Interesting to think about. Definitely sounds like a way that a lot of people are going to go. I know a lot of people say serverless and just refer to all functions as a service serverless. And that sounds pretty interesting to me. The cool thing about it is like, versus plain old infrastructure or compute instances or things you would normally pay for in cloud providers, you're only paying now for the execution of that function. The other, the other however many minutes in a day that it's not running, you're not paying for. So it sounds different and interesting. I just haven't done it. The other cool thing about it in general is like there's no infrastructure to manage. You're guaranteed enough uptime. There's nothing to patch. There's no, your typical security vulnerabilities you have on a service level or on a package level, library level, virtual machine level. That's kind of out the window with functions. So it sounds interesting to me. I haven't done enough I haven't read enough about it, and I haven't used it. But I would love to if I had the opportunity to do it like for real, and not just like, some Hello World project, but doing it for real sounds really cool. It would definitely help me think about, my infrastructure moving forward. But I love hosting all that stuff at home. And then, outside of work, places I've worked, I've always, went the Kubernetes kind of as a service, or, Kubernetes cluster, SaaS, I guess, and then some compute on the side. But it sounds awesome. I wouldn't be scared, T. Groutman. Maybe not. If you're excited about that, don't be. It sounds cool. The alt F4 stream. I can barely manage one chat, let alone more than one. Yeah, there's no two chats here going on for sure, man. T. Groutman, October is the perfect time for IoT projects. Building a scary scarecrow. Yeah, for sure. I think that sounds awesome. Logic 23 chat. What was that about the smart FM transmitter? Oh yeah, smart FM transmitter. I was saying that you can use something like a Broadlink RM4 Pro. I think the Pro can broadcast RF as well as IR. I have one for IR now. I probably should have got one for RF as well. Let's see here. I haven't been able to add the attribute Fizzler. What are we talking about? Sorry. I think you're talking to Penguin. Was that Penguin Airlines? Yeah. How's it going, man? How's it going? Raids can be tough. I definitely get it, but don't stress. Yeah, for sure. And for me, it's like, how do I balance? I mean, it's like this for everyone. How do you balance the people coming in and like the appreciation for the person who did it and the appreciation for the person who came in, and balance that with what's already going on? It's like, oh my gosh, it kind of pulls you in a couple of directions. But yeah, it's awesome nonetheless. Penguin Airlines, let me see if I can link that describes what you need to do. I made a Minecraft mod that can talk to hue lights. That was T. Graufman. Hey, Dual Chart. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Welcome people from Dual Chart. Wow, really appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for coming in and for choosing my channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you. T. Graufman. That's awesome that your Minecraft mod can talk to hue lights. That's awesome. I have a little bit of code that can talk to my hue lights. But that sounds awesome in Minecraft for sure. I mean, mine just, I wrote it in JavaScript, and it just sends out a whole bunch of post requests or posts to a hue end, the hue endpoint. But that sounds awesome. Toastface Gorilla, I used the old Galaxy S4 as a home assistant remote on the wall around the house. Currently trying to set up my automatic trigger doorbell where it takes a picture of blue iris at the front door camera, restream that's fed into Home Assistant, then sends snaps to my AI server, confirms it's a human, switches S4 screens to a live cam in the front door and makes the front door camera flash. It's been a nightmare, but I'm so close. Yeah, man, that does sound super interesting, man. That's a lot. Awesome, nonetheless. Because I also use Blue Iris, and kind of stinks not having a legit doorbell camera like a lot of people have. I know that I think Amcrest or a couple other people have released some, but still. I think the self-hosters of home security that run, Blue Iris kind of feel left out with a lot of the security doorbells that are out there right now. Kramer's, Techno Tim, yeah, how's it going? Logic 23, how many monitors do you have? I have 3. So I have 3 in front of me. You can't see them. They're probably in social media. Yeah, they're actually on my Twitter landing page. You can actually see my desk from this side on my Twitter page. But I have 3 1440p, 144 hertz monitors, 2 in portrait, 1 in landscape. Yeah, it's awesome. I think once I go to 3080, if I get one, if I go to that route, I think next month, which I think it will, I'm debating upgrading this one to 4K already. And it's not because like I want to game in 4K, it's because when I edit videos, I need more screen real estate. And I thought like, you know, a 1440p was pretty good. But like I realized editing videos, like you need as much horizontal space as you possibly can for your stinking timeline, because it stinks. And it's hard to cut video if you're zoomed out really far to see the video or the clip you're working on. So anyways, thinking about 4K, but it kind of stinks because I didn't even get this monitor, you know, not even a year ago. Not that I wouldn't, not that it's going to go to waste, but still. But yeah, 3 1440p monitors, 2 in portrait, 1 in landscape. 2 in portrait really, for me, for programming, terminals, logging code, pretty much. The Alt F4 stream, it's already got a lot of that, plus integrations with familiar stuff, lights, gateways, channels, rewards, etc. Eventually, we will have a desktop application. Nice. Okay, so it's got a lot of that, plus integrations with similar stuff like lights. Awesome. Giveaways, for sure, awesome. Channel rewards, hey, awesome. I just had to do the whole pub sub thing with Twitch and channel rewards. That's how the lights change in here, and that's how... Yeah, I had to wire that up to the pub sub stuff. Man, the Twitch stuff they're kind of all over the place right now with they have some REST. So they have REST endpoints, they have webhook endpoints, they have pub sub model, and then they have their Twitch chat stuff that are events. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, would you guys just pick one architecture? And honestly, I wish it was pub sub for all. I mean, obviously, I mean, for your REST and they need endpoints, right? That you can make REST requests to, but still, I'm just like, dude, just go all in with PubSub or all in with webhooks. Webhooks kind of suck. I mean, I shouldn't say that. They don't really suck. They're awesome. It just requires a lot of infrastructure to do it. Like I set up webhooks for my own stuff for Twitter, because Twitter requires, if you're gonna consume some of their, I guess, topics, you basically have to set up your own webhook over SSL. You have to host it you know, in your own infrastructure, which was no problem for me, but I'm like, that's a lot of infrastructure just to get a follow message, you know? And so, you know, I kind of see Twitch going that route with some stuff with webhooks, but then they introduced PubSub too. I'm like, please just do it all over PubSub. And not because it's like my preference, like for me, spinning up a new endpoint and SSL, zero problems. You know, I could do it 10, 15 minutes. But I don't think a lot of people have the infrastructure to do it or the know-how to do it. And I feel like it's kind of a non-starter for people to be able to say, like, you got to set up your own webhook infrastructure just so Twitch or any service can post your endpoint. Yeah. Whereas PubSub, it's super easy. Oh, you subscribe to a topic and you listen for it on a WebSocket. And when it happens, you do this, and, you know, and it doesn't require you to expose anything in your infrastructure whatsoever. Anyways, I digress. I'm just like curious which way Twitch is going to go with their APIs. John, I'm also working through setting up Prometheus and Grafana to monitor my cluster next. Yes, man, that sounds awesome. I plan to do a little bit here soon. It might be in the measuring, monitoring, visualization area. But yeah, let me know how you like it. I had Prometheus working for a couple of things for a little while. Pretty awesome. And it had a Grafana dashboard too. So let me know how it goes for you, man. The Alt F4 stream, both Discord and TwitchBot share commands and the other connections in Quirk. Oh, that's awesome. Let me think about that. Both the Discord and TwitchBot share commands and other connections in Quirk. Oh, okay, that's awesome. So you can share your commands across both Discord and Twitch. Awesome. That's awesome. I've set up tons of. I can see how you can do that. I mean, I understand how. Maybe I understand the code behind how you do that. But yeah, I've set up tons of bots. Like I have TwitchBot, Discord bot, Twitter bot. Twitch bot? Yeah, I think I said I have so many bots, but it's, I see how, I can totally understand how you could do that. And that's super convenient for the people that are running, a Twitch channel and a Discord channel at the same time. It's like, Why should I have to think about 2 commands and remember what they are in each area? That sounds super awesome. Penguin Airlines, oh, I remember now. ISO is downloaded to template ISO, but what I did was remap that to a symlink and put it in Linux volume wherever I wanted. Awesome. Logic, what's your other channel 24/7? Yeah, I mean, it's called Small Streamers Connect. It's been around for a while. It's an idea I had, and it's out there, and it's there, and it's yeah, runs. People can enter a host raffle, and it's kind of it's totally meta, but it's something I spun up a long time ago, and I feel like it's been helping people, and a lot of it goes to charity. So yeah, it's out there for sure. It's been running for a while too. People like it, so I just continued to develop it for a long time. Reese, can we view your Home Assistant dashboard? Oh, mine? No. No, if you want a good one, there's a demo one. I mean, if you just Google Home Assistant Home Assistant demo, you'll see one that's set up way better than mine. But no, I mean, I don't want to show you what's in my house. I mean, I could, but it's not that interesting. You know, lights. I have groups. I have one called dark mode that I have set up for here that I can actually turn this to dark mode and light mode. But I mean, it's not as elaborate as you would think it is with all the devices I have. But I do love Home Assistant. The one thing that, and this isn't a fault of them, the one reason why I can't go totally all in with them is because of Google or because of Nest. And so Nest has cut off the Works with Nest program, which means that no one can integrate with Nest but Nest. And I know that Home Assistant kind of has some workarounds. They kind of do the whole web scraping thing, like log into here, grab your token, grab your cookie values, plug it into us, and then we'll use that to trigger all these things. And it's like I totally get it because they want to. Oh no, that was I can't remember if that was Home Assistant or Home. The other one, Homebridge. Anyways, solutions like that now have to scrape Nest to get cookies to control these devices or keep a session logged in for you and then act on your behalf. And that's not how I want to control my home. And so I'm really hopeful that Nest or Google will still be in the this alliance that they're creating for standardizing a lot of IoT stuff for home automation, along with Google and Apple. Google, Apple, and Amazon. And I hope out of that comes like, hey, let's all be friends. And also, let's not make the consumers suffer anymore. And let's let them choose their own hardware and allow them to plug that hardware possibly into our ecosystem. Or at the bare minimum, allow them to use our hardware elsewhere. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But anyways, so long story short, I don't use Home Assistant as much as I should. Mainly because of that, because I have 3 Nest thermostats and I have 3 Nest Smart Protects. No, I have Protect, then for home security. And then I have the carbon monoxide monitoring. I thought that was called Protect also. Yeah, Secure and Protect. So anyways, long story short, I wish I could use Home Assistant more. I totally would. But having my, a large portion of my smart home not on Home Assistant, it's kind of a downer. It's not their fault, but it doesn't inspire me to then load all my other stuff into there. So I find other ways to get things working. And right now it's a bunch of islands, and I thought Home Assistant was going to be the one that connects all those or puts me on one island, and I would love to be on one island or connect all those dots. But until Google and Nest agree to open this up to Home Assistant, yeah, it kind of stinks. Anyways, and they're awesome. Nothing against them. It's not their fault at all. 100% Nest and Google. Exor. See, everyone got to run. Hey, Exor, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Let's see here. I'm going to be doing all the things. My girlfriend is thrilled. Sarcasm. Yeah, John. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. When you get to work on like tech projects, which means like not other things. And then, good luck with that. Fizzler, or even some backups. Oh, you guys are talking about you guys are still talking about Proxmox stuff. Hopefully you guys figure that out. All at 4, they use IRC. Yeah. That's basically why. Yeah, well, yes, and yeah. I mean, so they have 3 or 4 architectures, right, for their stuff. IRC, I think, was mostly for their chat. I mean, they still have that, and I think a lot of the JavaScript clients still hook into that, whatever, IRC, wherever those events are emitted. But they also have the new pub sub stuff. Then they have the new, I think they have 3 versions of the REST endpoints, which is like, you know, Kraken and after Kraken and Kraken v5, but your JSON still thinks it's v4 or something odd. And then on top of that, now they have webhooks. So it's like their infrastructure is kind of all over the place. I wish they would settle on one, you know, because at the end of the day, some developers got to, you know, integrate this stuff, and, you know, having that many ways to integrate to them, it's kind of like, just pick one. Heading on Airlines. Oh yeah, you guys are figuring this out. I love that thread is still going. Yes. Lambda's great. That's totally good to know. Lambda's great. I haven't done any Lambda. Let's see here. Way easier than containers. Like having to use MVVM or something. Okay. Reese, Techno Tim. Oh, I already read that. See, sometimes Twitch chat jumps on me too, so I apologize. Let's see here. My MC mod is pure Java with C++ hooks to a DLL. Goes through the Chrome SDK to talk to Hugh on the network, plus 1,000 other devices. T. Groutman. That sounds super awesome. Reese, check out the Dawa VTO doorbells on AliExpress. Works with Home Assistant via an add-on. Awesome. I have some Dawa cameras. They're pretty affordable. Some bullet cameras. They're actually super solid. Still going. Master the shift control. Oh yeah, T. Groutman. Yeah, I do. I still do the shift. You know, and actually, I try not to actually use scrolling at all. Now I'm almost. I don't want to say all, but a good portion of my editing now, I don't have to touch the mouse, at least for certain portions of it. And I've been figuring out the keyboard shortcuts, which is awesome. But still, when you get to the right, you're to the right, you know, and on a smaller screen, you get to the right faster. So it kind of stinks. Unless there's a keyboard command to like push my timeline back to the left, that would be sweet. But either way, more real estate would be awesome, for sure. Logic, you need at least 4 monitors. Also 3. Also have 3. And would like just 1 more. Yeah. I mean, I could put another one up here. Yeah, I totally could. And actually, so my day job, software engineer, during the day, I mean, I have a MacBook that's right here. All I got to do is open the lid, and then I got 4 monitors. But it kind of throws off the balance a little bit, you know, because these are nice, and you know, these are like anchors, these portrait mode ones. So yeah, I hear you, man. Dell F4 stream. Yep, we just provide a simple WebSocket. You get that. You get all of it in the first place. We have a few streamer friends who use it. All right, Quirk too. Yeah, I have to check it out. Toastface Grilla, my whole concept is to get rid of a doorbell button altogether and rely on AI stack to recognize. I like it. Yeah, so it's like, hey, Joe's at the door. Hey, UPS person's at the door. Or, hey, someone I don't recognize. Or dog walked by. That would be awesome, for sure. I think the Nest doorbells do, because my friend was telling me that, like, oh, so-and-so's at the door, and it was like their son's friend, and it recognized his son's friend, because I think they face matched him once. So I was like, man, that's so awesome. Have you played around with the something API? API to manage Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, etc. I haven't. No, I usually, I mean, all the APIs I do, I just directly, usually. But I can't see, something got blocked out. Lost and bored. RF tag for the win. Yeah, man, how's it going? RF tag, I haven't used any RF tags. But yeah, they sound pretty awesome. And the RF, I don't know. The Broadlink Pro RF, I might be able to pick one up soon, so that I can actually communicate and turn things on and off through RF, then through code too. John, I already got up the containers and talked to each other, but no data. Might push Grafana out through traffic. All right, let's go. Reese, Can we view your home assistant dashboard? Am I like is he saying the same thing over and over and over? Or am I, yeah, it must be. Reese, I've already said no a couple times, I think. Unless it's just something with Twitch chat. I have one nice, check out hacks for customization. Takano, hacks is a must use. There's so much there. I'll definitely have to check that out. Toastface Grill, I put so much time into my dashboard, it's worth it though. T. Grotman, rip Nest, rip Pebble, rip Fitbit, or Google. I don't know. Nest stuff is super good, but I agree. Yeah, I wish I had something more open. But at the time, when I bought it, they were one of the best thermostats. I know Ecobee or Ecobee was out there at the time, but didn't compare in the beginning. Yeah, and I know Honeywell does a ton of stuff too. Bad Nest for Home Assistant, haven't heard of that. Yeah. I totally agree. I know there's tons of alternatives. But when I already have 3 smoke, protect 3 smoke and carbon monoxide, plus tons of door security, physical security stuff, motion detection, you know what I mean? I've already bought into that ecosystem hardcore. And unless I leave it when I move or something, I'm not just going to switch off to be on something else. Don't go cloud for stuff, Nest, Amazon, etc. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, it's easy to say that, but it's harder to do that, I totally agree. Logic, non-proprietary standards for the win. Yeah, I totally agree. Zulix, F4 was saying that with IRC was the reason why they couldn't persist chat. At least, I see what you mean. I see. I guess I didn't pick up on that. I thought he meant about their infrastructure. But I think they could. I totally think they could. I mean, they play it back during VODs, and I get it that they're triggering it some other way. They have timestamps in all the messages. They just need to store them somewhere else. But yeah. Boxes at the door, stranger boxes at the door thing. Nothing is at the door. I totally agree. A blue line box is at the door. Trigger save recording. Logic, the laptop screen. The laptop screen is for email calendar. Awesome. Reese, is Twitch chat IRC? I think a lot of their stuff started off in IRC. I still think it is. I mean, it's, yeah, I'll just say yeah. I mean, I've only ever connected through Twitch chat or through some APIs that listened for IRC commands, and I think they still do that. So I think they would need to change that. But yeah, I think it is. I mean, that's what it started out on. Yeah, definitely still IRC, yeah. And so I use Discord.js, and that listens for IRC commands or IRC messages, and then pipes them out as JavaScript objects in callbacks or on events, basically. So I've never had to think about IRC, but yeah, for sure. And actually varies a bit from RFC of typical IRC. Discord.js is great. I think it's good. It's given me a lot of functionality really, really fast. And I've been using it for a really long time. Penguin Airlines, the other reason I'd want to play with AI image recognition is to build a D&D dice calculator. I like it. Just roll into a box and the camera captures all the rolls and adds them up. That's actually a super, super great use case for it too. Yeah, rolling big dice for sure. Or anything, yeah, for sure. Toastfish Grilla, do you use the self-hosted AI stack for Blue Iris? Should I check it out? Should check it out. It's really good. Can also integrate with Telegram bot. I have not. I've heard about it a few times. It's bookmarked, and I actually started the repo a long time ago. I don't remember when, because when someone said, "Hey, have you seen this yet?" I was like, "Oh, I already started." So I must have thought it was awesome at some point. I haven't done it yet, and I probably will at some point. It's just, I mean, I have my cameras tuned pretty good. And not to say I wouldn't love to have this local AI stuff too. It sounds awesome. Just haven't had the time to look at it. And my cameras are tuned pretty good. But it would be sweet for sure. I thought it could recognize like a bear and stuff or something. And then in the YouTube comments, someone had a pretty funny comment about the first The first most popular comment on that video was pretty funny. Anyways, send a pic, node mount over the Discord. Thank you. Node MCU. Awesome. The accuracy is exceptional. Yeah, you can take all sorts of animals to recognize. Yeah, someone said something about a bear or something. And I think someone's significant other kept getting recognized as the bear every time. Oh, anyways. Hey, guys, I said, man, tonight just super duper flew by. I really need to kind of wrap it up. I said in the title, this is going to be a short stream, and it ended up being just as long as my other ones, but hey, no worries at all. Man, I want to thank you guys so much. There was so much activity. It's almost hard to even keep track of. I gotta come up with a new system, but that's a good thing, something for me to figure out. First of all, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. I always say thanks for coming here, spending time. There were a lot of folks too who subscribed. I greatly appreciate that. And I always say, like, hey, your time and chatting is more than enough. Anything above and beyond that, I greatly appreciate as well. There were raids and lots of new people here in the raid too. So hey, welcome if you're still around. The raids that I had, it was the Alt F4. Hey man, thanks for sending a lot of viewers my way. Really appreciate it. I'd love to see your app that you're working on. There was another one in there too, Dual Chart. Thanks so much for the raid and the host. Really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you still want to continue having this conversation, obviously you're free to stay and chat here. But if you want to continue the conversation somewhere else, I have a Discord server set up that a lot of people in here are a member of. And they are all, and you guys are all welcome there. Yeah, Takano, he is on it now. Yes, I love it. He knows my segue. And if you guys want to continue the conversation, you absolutely can. There's a link to my Discord server. And I don't even want to say my Discord server. It's like our Discord server, because a lot of people here in chat are in there. And we chat and talk about all kinds of stuff, tech stuff, high tech stuff, security, IoT, servers, code, even low tech stuff like pictures of your dog or cat or animals or memes too. So I really appreciate it. If you check it out, if not, hey, I'll be back anyways. And speaking of being back, I will be back on Saturday. So Saturday, 3 CST, I will be back. So that's my kind of UK friendly stream. Hopefully most of the rest of the world friendly stream too. I'll have a new video Saturday morning, so you should definitely check it out. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Man, have a good night and be good to each other. I will see you guys on Saturday. Take care.